Hey, what's up, guys? Sam here, and I'll be doing the free video for Friday, September 13th, 2024. So, another week is in the books, and it was a rather strong showing by the Bulls. Very strong showing by the Bulls. Lots of changes from the last Friday video, and it seems like we are in Trap City, where if you got too bearish last week, or if let's say you got too bullish last week, you got trapped. If you got too bearish this week, you got trapped. And probably in one of the more epic ways, if you look at this candle right here, the size of that wick on the CPI Wednesday, if you want to know what an FU candle looks like, right? Because when we look at charts, it's almost as if we're reading a book, right? Like this is a language that only a few people understand. And in the same way that I can't read Japanese, but somebody who can read Japanese can look at a Japanese book and have an entire world painted in their mind just from seeing these characters, we can kind of do the same thing with these candlesticks. And that candlestick right there with the arrow pointing to it, that is an ancient Japanese translation, and it translates to FU if you're bearish. That wick is epic. That close was epic, and from that, the bears have been trapped, and the market's trying to go higher. So that is impressive unto itself, and then that has created this, which is I don't want to call it an engulfing candle because it's not exactly an engulfing candle on the YM, whereas it is on the SPY, but it is more of like a piercing candle, right? You had that very big down candle last week, and then this week's candle kind of took more than half of the body back from it and closed very near the highs. Just really impressive stuff. So I wanted to start here with the YM just because next week is going to be Quad Witch as well as the Fed. So lots of potential for shenanigans. But after doing the premium video for the folks in the central room, there's two signals I want to share with you, and then maybe I'll pepper you with a couple of decent looking stock setups. But the first one's right here in the YM. When I show you the YM, it's completely interchangeable. You could look at it with the SPY, you could look at it with the Qs to a lesser extent, or the IWM to an even lesser extent. But I think it's relatively clean here on the YM, and that is a very strong bullish chart, a max bull weekly, a strong bull on the daily with fresh signals and a squeeze, and a potential kind of inverse head and shoulders kind of thing here, right? Look how well I drew in those. Man, those are some really clean looking little smiley face things there. Mind you, I'm drawing it with my finger on a trackpad. So that kind of looks like a giant potential breakout pattern, doesn't it? Now, of course, the caveat is if it doesn't work, it probably gets leg swept pretty good, right? So we don't want to take things for granted, but all we can really do as traders, especially 3 days or, I guess 5 days from today, 3 days into next week will be Wednesday when the announcement is, and that will be Powell giving a thumbs up or the thumbs down for this rally, which I think he will give a thumbs up. The breakout pattern here is formidable, right? So all we can really do as traders, especially because I'm doing this video on a Friday and the event isn't until Wednesday, is just try to put as much probability as we can on our side. And this is a very strong pattern here, right? You have the pattern, you have the score, and you have the squeeze. So that's signal one. Much stronger signal, because I would still be cautious even just with the Dow signal, if that was the only signal. But this is a much stronger signal here that I'm about to show you. And it actually is somewhat of a binary signal. So if I was going to follow one thing, and I will, I would follow this into next week. Couldn't we argue this kind of looks a little bit like a miniature version of what we just drew in on the Dow? Do you see it? Little mini head and shoulders there, breaking out. Kind of cool. But this is HYG. This is junk bonds. I don't think junk bonds are lying to us, right? The stock market's very good about bluffing in poker terms, bluffing and then doing something else. But the bond market, I don't think, is necessarily bluffing us here. And so I want to draw your attention to the fact that this is a max bull and has a daily squeeze. And as such, as it has a max bull plus daily squeeze plus a breakout here, it makes it very relatively clear as to how to play this. As long as HYG trades above that line there, then I would have to definitely stay very bullish on the market, market wide. If in the event that HYG trades where the X is below the line, where I drew that X, then I think that's a leg sweep, and I would become very, very cautious and maybe go into day trading mode for sure, and maybe even become bearish. So as long as HYG is above that line right there, you can draw it very simply on your own charts just based on that swing, then the market is incredibly bullish because we understand HYG is a very critical risk on signal. It is a max bull 50, it is breaking out, and it has a squeeze. So we put those two signals together, what I just showed you in the index, which we use Dow as a proxy, and then we put that signal together with HYG, and that is an extremely high probability situation for a breakout into next week. So I do want to go ahead and wrap it there. I'll drop a couple of tickers that we're looking at in the room with you guys, and you can check them out if you wish to. So we're looking at some Meta, we're looking at Costco, we're looking at Apple. For those of you that like a little bit more lotto ticket stuff, a little bit off the beaten path, but with very good setups, something like CPNG looks very good. I think you can have continuation in things like Lowe's and Home Depot. I think those look very good. So basically, if these two signals that I've shown you, let's just kind of get back to brass tacks, if the two signals I've shown you in the index and in HYG, if these two signals are true, and we know what to look for to see if they're not, but if they are true, you could pretty much buy anything. So we'll see how it all plays out on Wednesday. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it won't be dull. So that is the video. Hopefully it was helpful to you. Leave us a like, leave us a comment below if it was helpful. If you have any pushback on it, if you see it differently, let us know. Drop us a comment. It does help us with the algorithm, and we certainly appreciate it. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next Friday.
Hey traders, this is Sam with Simpler Trading. I want to thank you for watching today's video. Hopefully you found the information in it helpful. If you did, leave us a like, leave us a comment. It really does help us out with the algorithm. And if you want to see us trade live with our own real money and be part of the community, come and check us out at simplertrading.com.